Well, howdy, howdy, hey. This is Edward, and welcome to episode 69 of More Geek Than Gay. Now, this is gonna be a big ol' surprise, because I have no idea what's happening in this episode. Not a clue. I was busy with work and school, as I told you guys before may happen. So, Joseph is flying solo this time. He even chose the closing music. So, I had to hunt up the closing music, but he chose what the closing music was, and he says it relates to what he talked about, so let's just start this music and the opening music, and let's get going.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Tiny whiny stuff.
Hello, welcome to More Geek Than Gay. I'm Joseph. I'm by myself. Edward is actually at work right now, but he is unable to do the podcast this week. You'll get him at the intro and the exit and the thank yous, I should say, at the beginning, at the end of this, because that's what he does. That's how he makes sure that you know that this is still his baby and his podcast, because he does the intros and the exits. So you got me. So I don't have much. This is episode 69. Feel free to make your little comments. In darts, we call it a Happy Meal. Personally, I'm never fond of that number. My number is 71 because that's the year I was born. And I'll stick with that because this is a PG thing. If you want to know the other reason, message me personally and I'll give you the other reason. This is not fit for youngins. Anyways, but it is the year, seriously, it is the year I was born, 1971. So, welcome to More Geek Than Gay. As I diverged myself already, and it's only been, 2 minutes? I hate to say that, maybe I do need Edward too, so he could keep me in line. Or I'm too busy keeping him in line that I'm not able to diverge myself. So, what we got? Let's see, what do we have? Alright, first off, let's start with my week. What was my week like? It's hot here. For those of you who might be watching this, you might see every so often something in the bottom. I have my little fan that I have going right now. It's Jaji's fan. So that because it's very hot. We're in monsoon season here in Phoenix. So and the monsoon season basically means we get really big, nasty dust storms followed by a thunderstorm and rain and flooding. And then it's all done within an hour. Lately, in the last few years, you'd be very happy to get the rain. Lately, all you've got is a big dust storm and a lightning show and no rain at all. But the humidity is there, so somewhere here in this area, somebody's getting rain, and the rest of us who don't get the rain get to feel the humidity because humidity just goes everywhere. Now, living in a dry desert, it's a dry heat. That's what we always say. Maybe 110, but it's a dry heat. This past Wednesday, it was 101 with 72% humidity. And for those of you who live in a high humid climate, they're thinking, oh, that's nothing. Low 70s, not nothing. We're here in Arizona used to humidity under 15%. So it is unbearable for us. Mind you, we were in the low 100s, but still it is sticky and ugly. So it's really ugly, and so hence the fan. I got this at the Chinese Cultural Center, by the way. So it's really cool. I mean, it's one of those. This is why I use it as a Jaji fan. You ready? Let's go. How gay is that? So let's go on as I diverge again. So, a lot of things. Joshua Tree was slow this week. We're usually on the slower side at the beginning of the month because most people have their disability checks and or food stamps. So they don't necessarily need us to help them make sure that they have food. Now, mind you, there were still a bunch of people. I think we had a little over 70 people. Normally we do about 120 to 125 a week. So I'll give you an example that it was slow for us. I mean, we were done with everybody. The food room opens up at 10, and we were done by 11:15. But the food bank doesn't close until 12. So we cleaned, we straightened. There's always people who show up right at the end. We have 3 people who traditionally show up right before 12 o'clock, which is fine. I mean, they show up about 10 minutes till, don't get me wrong. It's not like they show up a minute before. They show up about the last 10 minutes of it, because what we do is, with the perishable foods, like the fruits and vegetables, that won't survive a week, and a lot of the breads. So what we do is, if you're like one of the last people, and we do have one person who stays with us all day, any extra stuff that won't last till the next week, we just say, okay, here, go, and take as much as you want. There's no limits, just take it. We don't want it to go bad. If you're going to use it, go for it, because we don't want to throw it out. We've gotten into recently some other partnerships with other food banks and also some other support groups that we're going to start helping out. We are getting some items through St. Mary's, and that some pallets of food, and we're going to be a centrally located area that the other food banks in our area will go to us, because we're one of the bigger food banks in Phoenix when it comes to size. Not the people that they help, because we're very centralized, very focused core group, because we need people. Those of us here at Joshua Tree Feeding Program, we deal with only our clients are only those who are affected or infected with the HIV/AIDS virus. So we don't deal with, for instance, we're not going to be dealing with a bunch of families. We do have families, but we're not going to have mom and pa who are down on their luck but need help. And there's a lot of other agencies in the country, in Phoenix, that can, and they do a very good job. But when it comes to size-wise, most of those are in one room in a church or in a community center. They only got one room, and so they don't have room for storage. At Joshua Tree, we have 5 rooms, because we rent 5 rooms for the church that we're at. One room is the food room, one room is the storage room, one is administrative, one is for clients that they could wait inside till their number's called so that we don't have to wait outside, and one is for the pet assistance project, which is, which our clients get the dog and cat food. So we have room. We have a big storage room. Anyway, we converted a room into a storage room, I should say. So St. Mary's came and looked at our facility and decided that we will be the centrally located food bank in that area, that they will deliver pallets to us, and all the other food banks come to us, and they get to pick. We'll have a list, and they'll have the same list, of course, of saying, okay, say for instance, I'm not going to name actual food banks, but say food bank A, they get 30 loaves of bread, 2 cases of eggs, and 15 cases of milk. So we know what they get, and they know what they get, and and St. Mary's will have everything all labeled and all ready, and we're basically delivering. We're just basically letting them come to us instead of them going to St. Mary's, which is on the west side of Phoenix. So it's a new program. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to start actually next week. So we shall see. Let's see. The Dart League. The Dart League, we're having our meetings, the board meetings, as always. I did not get a break this in between seasons. The season starts on Tuesday, July 15th. So this Sunday is going to be the hell meeting. Excuse my language, but it is going to be a hell meeting. We start at 9 a.m. and I'm hoping and we have to be out of there by 3:30. No later than 3:30. This is the meeting where we set up the season. So we set up all 16 weeks. We set up the teams. We set up the bar locations. This is also when we put together startup packets for all 30 teams as well as the bars. So we're looking at 44 startup packets because we have 14 sponsor bars and 30 teams. So we have to put those all together and make sure everything's in there. And then those of us with a car that are able to drive, which means out of the 6 of us, there will be 3, and we get to deliver it to all the 14 bars. So for instance, if we go by last year, what I did is I had to deliver to Ice Picks, Rainbow Cactus, Zorf's, Bar 1, and Bar 1. I had to deliver those myself. And the starter packets to the bar starter packets, as well as any and all teams that they are part of that. So, and Steve does his, and John does his. So those are the 3 of us that are the drivers. Linda rides with me, so she doesn't drive because it's just, we live near each other. So why bother, her driving if we could just carpool? Paul doesn't drive because the meeting's at his place. So there's no reason for him to get up and get out, kind of a thing. Let's see. So that starts. The magazine's doing well. Our issue just came out. Our July issue just came out. Looks pretty good. I've seen the online version. I have not seen the actual physical copy yet. They didn't have it when I was in the office, and it doesn't look like I'll be able to make it into the office this week unless I sneak real quick over there tomorrow, but we'll have to see on how that goes. Depends on how tonight goes. Joshua Tree, like I said, we had a slow day. Oh gosh, what did I do? Oh, we are having 2 food drives this month. First off was the Community Church of Hope's food drive, which I believe I talked about. Every year they do a Christmas in July. They do a food drive for Joshua Tree every year. So I think I said this last week or within the last couple episodes where I had to do a presentation for that, both the 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. church services on a Sunday. They're doing that. And then today I went to, oh gosh, hold on. I completely just drew a blank on what it is. I have my computer here so that way I could talk and get things right. Because sometimes I don't get things right. And I hear about it. Come on, computer. You can work. I have an old computer. So this morning, I went with Miguel Valverde and his partner, Jared Nations. The school that Miguel goes to... Oh, gosh. What school does he go to? Oh, he goes to the Anthem College Bryman School. Bryman School. They're going to start doing a food drive for Joshua Tree. They start on Monday, the 14th of July. They're going to start on Monday. They're going to, and that's going to go on until the end of August. And they have 3 other locations that they're going to do that that particular college is that location is going to challenge the other two locations to try to see who puts in the most. So this morning at 10 a.m. I did the presentation for the morning classes, and then this evening at 8 p.m. I'm going to go back and do another presentation for the evening classes. So Joshua Tree has two big food drives that are happening and going to happen. So I'm very excited about that. Joshua Tree, we are also going to be having our first bowling. Actually, technically the second bowling of the year, but the first with our fiscal season, because our fiscal season started on July 1st. So it's going to be starting this Saturday. Saturday I have a very busy day, but you'll find that out next week. And then we have the Artie Party, and I'll talk about that next week as well in episode 70. Because this is episode 69 where I'm by myself, so you can't really be 69 by yourself, can you? But that's another story. And that's not something for a PG-13 podcaster, right? So let's see, what else? I even have a list here. Let's go with the World Cup. All right, as most of you know, I like sports. As the Eric Carlisle, who is one of the owners of Compete Magazine, when I interviewed with them, and him and Connie, who is the editor, he asked if I like sports, and I said yes, I like sports, and I named a bunch of sports that I watch and that I follow, and he basically says, oh, you like the weird sports. Well, one of those quote-unquote weird, bizarre sports I'm a huge soccer fan. I've never been to a soccer game outside of my cousin's soccer games, but I watch it on TV. I've watched MLS, and I'm watching the World Cup. I think I mentioned this earlier in a previous podcast, is that I don't care who's playing, I will watch it because I watch the sport. I will yell at the TV if I get excited and happy for whatever country, because for instance, not only was I for the USA, I was also for Costa Rica, because Costa Rica was like kind of a Cinderella because it came out of nowhere to do, and so it was very cool, very exciting. USA, of course, is gone. That was an unbelievable game. Costa Rica is unfortunately gone as well. Let's go with the better one first. It was Netherlands against Argentina. Good game. Argentina won. So Argentina goes to the finals, which I think is Saturday. I think. Let me see. Very good game. I had Sunday. Sorry, Sunday. I knew it was this weekend. Very good game. Very excited. That game was on Wednesday, I believe. But yes, it was on Wednesday. On Tuesday, this previous Tuesday, was Germany against Brazil. It ended up being 7-1 Germany. Now, anybody who knows soccer, that is very rare to have such a high scoring game. Usually it's about 1-0 or 1-2. Nothing. Usually it's average between 1 to 3 points. Either way. Having a team get 7 points is surprising. Having a team get up to 5 points within 30 minutes is unbelievable, and it's something that you would expect to happen at the beginning of the tournament, not in the semifinals. So I don't know what happened with Brazil. It seemed like they decided to bring in a bunch of college men and just say, oh, here, play a game of soccer. It was sad. It was pathetic. I got bored of the game. I mean, I liked it. I watched it, don't get me wrong, but I got bored of the game I was vacuuming and cleaning the living room while having it on in the background. Normally when I clean, I put on music because that's something the Mexican does, apparently, because everybody who I talk to, puts on music. But it was a pathetic game. It was, and I feel so sorry for Brazil because, they're the host country. They could have done well, but then they didn't. They were horrible. So, bye-bye Brazil. So that makes Germany winning, of course, 7-1. Of course they're going to win. So this World Cup final will be Argentina versus Germany on Sunday. This will be a good game. It should be a good game, but then, Brazil and Germany should have been a good game, but I'm looking forward to it. I've heard people complain on the interwebs that, oh, does it have to be a power? It's always the same powerhouse, the same powerhouses. Well, you know what? Brazil is considered a powerhouse, and they did shit. So it's not always, you never know who's going to show up. It's like any other sport. You have a good day, you have a bad day. And trust me, as an athlete myself, even though it's darts, it's still an athlete. It's still considered a sport. There's nights where I'm right on the ball. I'm doing great, and there's nights that I'm lucky if I even hit what I aimed for. You never know until it happens. And then if you're doing a bad night, you try to shake it off. If you're doing a great time, you try not to jinx or do anything wrong. So that's the sports. Let's go with TV. Now, Edward and I had previously stated that there's really not much that we watch, but there are things that we do watch. Right now we are, of course, watching a lot of the reality shows that are summer. One of them is America's Got Talent. I don't really watch, in general, I don't really pay attention or care for auditions because I don't want to see the horrible people. I don't. I mean, if I want to see that stuff, I'll watch America's Funniest Videos. I'll go on YouTube and look for horrible acts. I watch when they get into the week in Hollywood, or I think they're in Vegas. I think America's Got Talent does Vegas. I'll watch that. Same thing with So You Think You Can Dance. I usually I don't watch the auditions. I wait until Hollywood week and then and then go from there. But there is one reality show that we're watching this summer that I do watch the auditions because they were invited in, and that is The Last Comic Standing. So I've been watching that. I did watch those audition periods. So we're watching Last Comic Standing. We are watching America's Got Talent. I personally am watching So You Think You Could Dance. Edward won't watch that show because he doesn't think anything of it. But every so often, if there is a great performance that just makes you cry or gets you so emotional, well, it gets me that way. For Edward, he's like, it was very good because he has no heart and he's not romantic in any possible way. But for me, I will say that, and I said, Edward, you gotta watch this. That kind of a thing. So those are the three shows that we're watching. I'm not quite sure about Expectant with Halle Berry. The premise looks good. I mean, it actually looks really good. I'm very interested in it. But the problem that stops me from actually saying, yes, I'm going to watch it, it's Halle Berry. I'm not a fan of Halle Berry. Don't really care for Halle Berry. I can name 2 movies that I liked Halle Berry in, and neither one of them are Monster. I didn't care for that one. Or Monster Bash, or whatever the hell that movie was, that she got all those accolades. So, I won't watch it. Probably I'll watch it if it's on, but I won't watch it. It's not high on my list. And I'm pretty sure that people are going, oh no, it's going to be good. But it's Halle Berry. So doing that. Arrow. Hold on, I didn't pull this up. Let me get this real quick. I'm so sorry. I ended up pulling an Edward right now. Arrow made an announcement this past week that Brandon Roth is joining the cast as a full-time member, and he is going to be. Come on, computer. Did I tell you I have an old computer? My computer is about 4 years old, so yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. I hit the wrong button. Still no. Gosh darn it. Where is this thing? There we go. You know, you hit a link on Google, and it's not always the one that goes over. So it's kind of aggravating that way. No, I'm ready to give up and figure it out instead of trying to figure this out. Because this is a pain. Hold on one moment, please. Okay, I don't know if I got out of focus or not, but Brandon Routh or Rose or whatever his name is. Oh. Oops, wrong button. Oh, duh, okay. Brandon Routh or Ruth or Routh. I think it's Ralph. I think it's Ralph with a T. He is going to be Atom, the Atom. So, looking forward to that because, you know, hey, it's John Barrowman's now going to be a not main character. He's going to be a series character. He's going to be full time. So I like John Barrowman, even though we have yet to hear what underwear he was wearing at Phoenix Comic-Con during his panel, because John Barrowman is known to dropping his pants and showing off his geeky, nerdy superhero underwear. You know, his little underoos. When he was there last year, and I ended up going to his panel, he was wearing Batman underwear. So I don't know what he wore this year. So we'll have to see. I haven't heard anything on what it was. So looking forward to Arrow. Immediately, I did not watch much of season 1. I think I lasted 4 episodes in season 1 and then didn't watch it all season 2. So I'll have to catch up. Or maybe just start with season 3 and just say, okay, I know all these people already. Yeah, I don't need to know the backstory. We'll have to see. So that's TV. World Cup. All right, now let's see here. Okay, let's go and do this. We are going to go. Let's go with book stuff. As most of you know, I am a personal assistant to the sci-fi author Gini Koch. But we're not going to start with Gini right off the bat. We are going to start with another good friend of ours and Gini's BFF. But I consider Marcy a good friend of mine too. Marcy had a couple announcements this week. Marsheila Rockwell. She has, as we have stated previously, she is the writer in 3 of the upcoming Lady Justice graphic novels. Neil Gaiman's Lady Justice. She is the writer for 3 of those 6 books. She's already working on book 2 of that. I'm still waiting for those to come out in hardcover, because as soon as those come out, we've got plans for you, Marcy. We do. We've talked to comic book stores. They want to do stuff. So we'll have to work it out when it goes. But she went ahead and posted on her blog a couple days ago that I'm going to say the names wrong, her novel of short stories, there were 5 short stories, I believe I talked to them, called Tales of Sorcery and Sand, or Tales of Sand and Sorcery, by Musa Publishing. She got the rights back to them. What they are is there are 5 short stories. The first 4 are introducing you to the main characters, and then the 5th story is where they all meet. The big 2 main characters are Shala and Kaj, or Kaj, something like that. K-I-J. She got the rights back, and unfortunately, you can no longer get that book. Tales of Sand and Sorcery, or Sorcery and Sand, I can't remember. It's over there somewhere. She got the rights back. You can no longer get that on Amazon or anywhere else. But she does have copies herself that you could get. And she will be at different Comic Cons and she'll sell her stock until she's out, because she has more stories for them, and she is going to put it all together and make an actual novel out of it. She is going to it's going to come out in book form. Can't wait. Too excited. It was one of those books that when I was done reading it, I seriously went on Facebook and I posted on her wall saying, what's next? I want to know more about her. I love Shala, one of my favorite characters that I've read recently. So, yay! She's going to be doing a novel of that, a big book of that. She's also, Marsheila Rockwell has also posted that she is in a poetry anthology coming up that's involved with 20 other poets. It is called Confessions, A Nightmare in 5 Acts. This is, there is no word about when it's going to be, but the interesting thing is that every poet in this anthology, in this book, will have to build their poem out of the last stanza of the previous poem. So, your last stanza of your poem has to be the basis of the person that comes after you, the beginning of theirs. So it's almost kind of like one continuous poem to go along. So I'm very interested. I'm not a poetry person, quite honestly. I dated a guy who was a poet. I think it lasted 2 months, but that's about it. That's another story somewhere in a long distance away. But I'm curious about this because I think that's an actually cool idea, you know, having to start off somebody else's idea or finish somebody else's idea and give somebody a starting point on your own of their idea. So it's pretty cool. It's going to be published by, oh my gosh, how do you say this? Electric Milk Bath Press. I'm going with that. And the sales will benefit the Science Fiction Poetry Association. So this is a book that money will be raised. This is a charity book kind of a thing. And then she said, you know, she's hard at work working on the second Lady Justice book. So, yay! Good for you, Marcy. Can't wait till that stuff comes out, and I'm really looking forward to that novel, the Shala's novel. That's what I'm going to call it, the Shala's novel. Now, going to Gini. Gini has a bunch of stuff coming up. So, get ready for this, kids. She was able to announce that she is going to be in the upcoming X-Files anthology set, edited by Jonathan Mayberry, or Mawberry. There are going to be 3 volumes on this anthology, and she's going to be in volume 3. There are, oh my gosh, I am not going to read all these names because I believe there's 34 authors in this. I am not going to be reading everybody. I will say that there are 2 people I know on this. One I actually know and have talked to many times, and that is Yvonne Navarro. She's a Bram Stoker Award-winning author of media tie-in fiction, including Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Aliens, Species, and other books. So I'm looking forward to seeing the upcoming X-Files anthology. I'll get all 3 books because, you know, hey, I did like X-Files when it was out on TV. The month of October, you're going to hear a lot more of this coming up. But Gini is going to be in 3 different anthology books, and they're all coming out in the month of October. The first one, which is coming out on October 7th, Gini is going to be writing under the name of J.C. Koch, and that anthology is called The Madness of Cthulhu, and she's going to be in volume 1. It's a this is a Lovecraft. Oh gosh, you know, Genie, I said I was going to mess this up, but anyways, it's an H.P. Lovecraft. It's stories inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. So looking forward to that. You know, hey, it's Cthulhu. How can you not love that? Pre-order it right now. So that's coming out October 7th. Also, another book. These are going to be under Gini Koch, under her Gini Koch author name. The first one is going to be it's called Unidentified Objects, Volume 3. So that's going to be kind of like a funny horror story. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to look at this, but anyways, she doesn't have much more of that. It is it's kind of like a Don Quixote cover here, because you have Don Quixote and you have Sancho, and the windmills are all like alien, like spaceships. Interesting. So, that's coming up. It's called Unidentified Funny Objects 3. Oh, there you go, UFO. Duh. Okay, I'm a little slow on some things like this. That's coming out in October. Also, she had told me this, I think in January, that she was excited about. She told me a little bit about it. I already know. I've known about this for a while. I'm very excited about this. The third and last anthology that she's in is going to be, it's called 221 Baker Streets. 221 Baker Street, as most of you who are literate know, that's the address of Sherlock Holmes. It's Sherlock Holmes. It's Sherlock Holmes stories. So, what she was told by the editor, David Moore, is that you could take Sherlock Holmes, set it anywhere, anytime, anyhow, and you can do what you want with the characters. Do anything you want. So she told me what she did. Now I'm looking forward to it. I'm not saying that just because I'm her PA. I'm actually looking forward to it because I think it's a really interesting twist, that how she's presented Holmes and Sherlock. So and I'm sure, and Sherlock, duh. Holmes and Watson. So it'll be interesting. So those three are coming out in October. Once again, it's The Madness of Cthulhu, Volume 1, and Unidentified Funny Objects, number 3, and 221 B. Baker Streets. Those three in October. You'll hear more from me now. You'll hear more from me later about it. And while I got Genie up, let's talk. She gave me our schedule for our upcoming things. First off, okay, let's talk about San Diego Con. San Diego Comic-Con is the 23rd through the 27th in San Diego, California. Duh. Genie has 2 panels and 2 book signings at San Diego Comic-Con. The first panel is Thursday, July 24th. It's called World Building and Storytelling. That is in rooms 32 and 33, and that's at 7 p.m. And that's Thursday, July 24th. Then Saturday, July 26th, she has a book signing with Mysterious Galaxy at the Mysterious Galaxy booth, which is booth number 1119, and that's from 2 to 2:30 p.m. And that's Saturday, July 26th. Also Saturday, July 26th, she has another panel, and that is the Indie Small Print Run Comics, and that's in room 9. And that is from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So again, Saturday, July 26th from 8 to 9. Then on Sunday, July 27th, she has another book signing, and that's at the Penguin booth, and that is booth number 1028, and that's from 3:30 to 4 p.m. Also, that one on Sunday, July 26th at the Penguin booth. If you are at San Diego Comic-Con, get there, get in line, get early. This one was a long line. I mean, she had a line at Mysterious Galaxy. Don't get me wrong. This one, there's things that you have to do because Penguin, which is her publisher, she's published by Daw's division of Penguin. Penguin is giving 48 copies of Touched by the Alien, which is the first Alien series, the first Alien Kitty Cat series. They're giving it away for free. So the first 48 people in line will get Touched by an Alien for free. So you need to get there early. They will give you a number. They'll give you a ticket before the signing, so that way they know what if you have this ticket and number that you get the book for free. So get there. Get in early. Of course, she'll sign anything at Mysterious Galaxy or Penguin. You know, if you have other novels of hers, she'll sign it. She also jokes, and I also joke about it. It's like, you know, you give her a book by somebody else, she'll sign it with their name, and just, you know, hey, she'll sign anything. So make sure you get there. So, you know, 2 book signings, 2 panels. Looks like Saturday is going to be a very busy day for us because she's got 2 things on Saturday. Everything else is one day. So we'll be catching you up. I'll talk more about that every week, as always. And then for those of you here in Arizona, on August, from August 22nd through August 24th, she is going to be at CopperCon, which is it's a smaller con here in Arizona, but it's a what are they? I'm going to say this wrong. It's a sci-fi and fantasy convention. It's going to be at the Hilton Garden Inn in Avondale. It is actually a nice one. I went to it last year and had an enjoyable time. I think I know most of these authors that are going to be there. So far, they have announced that Gini, of course, is going to be there. Gini Koch. Then Jeff Marriott is going to be there. Marsheila Rockwell, and Sharon Skinner. So I know all 4. So she will be there. That is August 22nd through the 24th. She will be... Well, then the other stuff is, you know, she's got November and December. We already have that stuff. So, back to Gini real quick. Do you guys, we had mentioned this before, and I don't think we mentioned it in a while. The Penumbra e-magazines. She has 3 short stories in the upcoming year with Penumbra e-magazine. She already had one out on May, and then July has the second one. The first one in May was a prequel for the Alien series. It's called Alien in the Runway. The one in July is called Mr. Dash Saves the World. And I will tap myself in the back and pat myself as well. I'm the one who gave her the title of the book. She wrote it. I just gave her the title. It's like, hey, what about Mr. Dash Saves the World? And so she used the title. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it this weekend. Hint. But anyways, if you use the code 2014 Gini, Gini, so 2014 Gini, you get a year's subscription for half the price. So make sure you sign up quickly, because this code is good until the end of August. You will get the back issues. You'll be able to catch the Alien in the Runway. You'll be able to catch and Mr. Dash Saves the World. So use that code, get it, get a year. Penumbra, I'm actually liking Penumbra. It's an e-magazine. It's a bunch of short stories. It's actually really good. I'm impressed with it. I've been very impressed with it. So, books. While we're talking about books, I finished. As most of you know, I was told back in May I can no longer read anything else but Gini's book until I get caught up. I finished and got all caught up on the Alien series. Then within the last week, I believe, I finished Happy Haunted Acres for the active senior citizens. I finished that in a day. Mind you, it was 52 pages, but I still finished that in a day. And then I finished Cup of Joe. That took me 2 days because that was 80-something pages. And I'm in the middle of Nightbeat. So I have Nightbeat, I have Random Musings, and then I have Mr. Dash, and I think I'm all caught up. And then I'll be able to read up on comics, because that's what I really need to catch up on. My cousin Christina and I were talking about Afterlife with Archie, and I told her, don't tell me anything more because I haven't read anything, and I still want to read God is Dead. I told her about that comic, and she thinks that I don't know exactly what he is, so I'll just call him my fiance, Daniel, to say that she thinks that he'd really like that. So, and then I'll be able to catch up on stuff. Yay! And read other people's stuff. And it's not like I don't like reading Gini stuff. I like to read. I've always been read a novel and then read a comic. That's how I am. And I haven't done that, so it's kind of weird for me not to do that. So, excuse me. So that's enough of me blabbering. That's all I got. And I'm sticking with that. You take care. Hopefully Edward will be back next week with me. Oh, that's another thing I was going to mention. Have you guys noticed we've got a new camera? Recently, like within the last month, we got a new camera. And I don't know if you guys noticed that the camera, when we record, it flips us. We haven't changed our sides on the bed. If you look at previous episodes and we're in our bed, I'm on my side of the bed, Edward's on his side of the bed, and that's the sides of the bed that we sleep on, right? But if you look at the last 3 episodes, I believe, 2 or 3 episodes, and you watch that, it looks like we flipped sides. But we didn't. The camera on the new pad that we're recording off of flips us. So that's kind of weird to watch this because I do watch this. I honestly do watch it. Because I never know what he says at the beginning or says at the end, and I don't know what video. I did know the one this last week with the Disney villains because I happened to be in the same room with him when he was looking, and I told him to use that one. And this one, since I'm recording this by myself, I am going to say I want this video. I have to look it up right now and figure out which one. But anyways, it's interesting. We didn't change sides of the bed. The camera did that. So, very bizarre. I don't even know if he noticed that. So, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Leave comments. Thank you, Stewie Monster. I know you friended me on Facebook and you accepted my friend request on Facebook, and I know your real name. But you know what? Forever you'll be a Stewie Monster, kind of like how Terry will forever be a Montana girl. Once you get a nickname with me, you're stuck with it. I'm sorry. It's like one of my good friends in San Diego, Will, I call him Pook. So he's Pook. I've got grandparents, John and Robert, our grandma and grandpa. You get a nickname with me, forever you'll be that nickname, and I have to remember what your real name is. I have to think about it because, you know what, you're my nickname. I mean, my favorite aunt, I call her Meriwether. So I have to think about her real name because that's what I did right now. I'm like, oh, my favorite aunt, what's her real name? Her real name is Myrna, but I call her Meriwether, and she'll forever be Meriwether. I'll have to tell that story another time. So that's all I got for you. Good night, goodbye, and leave comments. How do you turn this off?
This next number is really Poppycock's love letter back to America.
From Los Angeles, California, please welcome Prince Poppycock.
And that was Prince Poppycock, and that was episode 69 of More Geek Than Gay. Again, I haven't seen it yet. No, I am functioning on pure trust here. So, after I get this put together, I will be putting it up, and I will have been discovering this along with you guys at the same time. Yeah. I don't know whether he touched upon it, but don't forget that we do have 2 new sister podcasts. One of them for comic book enthusiasts, 4-color story time. It's still morphing into its final shape, but at this moment it is basically a little bit of comic book news and then an issue of a comic book. Yay! This upcoming week, we're going to be looking at, if I can find it, we're going to be looking at Rocket Raccoon, since he's going to be one of the standout stars of the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Figure, hey, let's touch upon the heart of Rocket Raccoon. Yes. Also, we have Math Monkeys for you math enthusiasts. And those of you who are not math enthusiasts, stop shaking your head. We exist. There are math enthusiasts out there. So, you can catch both of those on iTunes or on Libsyn. They're just audio podcasts, and they are at most half an hour. Typically, they run more around the 15-20 minute mark. Also, don't forget to share a little bit of love with Joshua Tree Feeding Program. They are an they are a non-profit organization that helps people with HIV and AIDS get food. They also have a sister program that helps people get food for their pets so that they don't have to choose between feeding themselves and feeding their pets. If you would like to find out more, or if you would like to offer some assistance, check them out at www.jtfp.org. All volunteer organizations, so any assistance will be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to check out Compete Magazine. Joseph works for them. They are one of our fun little sponsors of sorts. I will make sure to put a link to Compete Magazine here. They will take care of all of your LGBT sports needs. So check them out, all you sports enthusiasts. And that's it. I should hopefully not be as busy next week, and I can get in next week and join Joseph. But this final class has not ended yet, so there is a chance that next week Joseph will be flying solo again. We'll find out what's going on. Yeah. Until then, give us some comments. We love comments. Yes. And hi, Australia. You guys are actually starting to kick some American butt as far as our viewership / listenership goes. Yeah. So keep up the good work. Yeah. And keep fending off those giant spiders. Catch you all next week. Bye. Why won't it turn off? It won't turn off. Turn off.